It's another edition of The Manual. The Professor Alton Woods, I'm Chip Wrights, and we're glad to be here with you. We've got the playbook on manhood. So let's start out with our opening segment. Man, did you see? Man, did you see?
Man, did you see the Deshaun Watson trade package?
Oh, my goodness.
Three number ones, a 3 and a 4, 5 draft picks. Then you sign him to a 5-year, $230 million. Million. 100% guaranteed.
Wow.
And he still has 22 civil cases that he has to solve for allegedly various sexual improprieties with massage therapists. Now it got even more interesting. I said 3 ones, a 3 and a 4. Is that what I said in terms of picks? 5 picks.
Yep.
I read today that before the deal got finalized, Cleveland sweetened the pot again. 3 ones, a 3 and 2 4s now.
Added a 6 pick in there. Somebody better had done their homework on this, because you had to talk to the league to find out, okay, once we get past this,
what happens?
How many games are we looking at from a suspension standpoint, as far as your morality clause is concerned? Talk to the advertisers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, are y'all gonna be good with this, with us bringing this guy in? I love Deshaun Watson.
On the field.
Don't know what's going on with all of this stuff. We have to wait it, let it flesh itself out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
Money and picks. Here's what I heard. They said since the announcement, donations to the various rape victim organizations in Cleveland have gone through the roof. National donations.
Wow.
The Bills Mafia, who has been known to support causes around the country, is sending money to the Cleveland rape victims. This is going to be a mess,
This
is going to be a mess. And listen, if he did not do this stuff, it is a shame, a sin and a shame that this man's brand is tarnished this way.
Right, it's horrible.
If he did do this stuff, it's a sin and a shame that he just became filthy rich.
Silly rich.
And still did this.
Silly
and by the
rich.
way, Colin Kaepernick still can't get a tryout.
Well, don't get us talking about that, because that's a whole show there.
That's right. I tell you what, maybe there's some aspiring athletes that's going to watch this podcast, but you have to have people in your life who can pull you out of bad situations. If you the money man, Alvin Kamara in Las Vegas, you got a whole crew with you. There's no reason why you need to put your hands on another man, regardless of what he said or did, when you the millionaire and your crew is with you.
No.
My crew is supposed to do whatever they need to do to get this man out of my face and get me out of there before I mess this money up.
Alvin, let's go.
Let's go.
I don't care what he's saying. Let's go.
Let's go.
If he is not threatening your life, then let's go. That's it.
Somebody told me Dennis Rodman's bodyguard used to sit outside of his bedroom when he brought females home. And if he ever heard no or anything that sounded like no, he was supposed to bust in and get her out of there, even if that meant fighting Dennis Rodman to do it.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to do this.
Somebody need to call that man need to start an agency.
An agency. That's right. That's right. I don't know.
Wow. This. This is the manual, where we've got the playbook on manhood, and we're excited to be back here today. Had a great discussion in our last podcast talking about how to know if you got the right one, and responses. Some responses are coming in. Make sure you like and share at the manual, the number 4U, the letter U. We are on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. What else we on?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That's enough.
Yeah, okay.
That's enough. Hey, but in all seriousness, make sure you go and like or subscribe to all of those platforms, right? Right now, our traffic is on Facebook primarily, but that's going to be changing over time. We're going to start to do some live shows, and we don't want you to miss it.
Absolutely.
And so I need you to subscribe and like on all of our platforms, even if one of them is your preference. And granted, going live and all of that stuff will primarily be Facebook and YouTube. But whatever your preference is, I get it, but do us a favor.
Yeah,
go out, like, and subscribe, share.
We want to help the brothers out there. We want to help men everywhere.
Yes, sir.
To be the best that they can be. So we talked about how to know if you found the right one, and there's so much that goes into that because being in a relationship a lot of times doesn't mean that you have a relationship.
That's right. That's right.
You got two people that are kind of existing, going through the motions, and it's not even that you can't have something great. But the question really needs to be is what did I consider up front? What did I think about up front before I ever got into this relationship? Because most men are moved by what we see. It's like, because if you look good and then you sound good, and well, let's go in and tell it. Good. Let's go in there.
Just look good. Look good. You know you had something that looked good. They didn't sound good.
Oh my
you don't even know what they sound like.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that knew this wasn't going nowhere.
No. Except to the bedroom.
That's
it. That's the only place it can go.
Man, we can be some selfish jokers. It's just like, and then we feeding her with stuff, say, hey, this like blah 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 blah. It's like like, yeah. And saying to yourself, girl, as soon as I'm done, I'm going somewhere.
As soon as we finish.
Wow. And then so what we end up doing is we start messing up our expectations for what a real relationship should be as we move further on, because we've had all these duds, most of them caused by us. But then somebody who is real, the right one comes along, and we can't figure out if that's who the person is.
Right.
So what would you say to that?
Well, sometimes it's hard to figure out if it's the right person because of all the baggage we're bringing from the wrong people. And see, as men, we play a lot of games, and we like to think we the one running game. Which, by the way, when a woman runs game, they run it on a different level, right, than we do. But nonetheless, we think all we're doing is running game and having fun. But the reality is we're creating connection points that just add to the baggage we carry also, right? And so then we're unable to really get through some of that baggage when it's time to show up for the right one, right? Now, in our last episode, we talked about having a shared belief system, having other people in your lives that you can aspire to be like, that help you be better. What else did we hit in that last one?
We talked about having, I think we talked about examples, people that were going to be a part of that process.
Yep.
So I think that we talked about compatibility from a spiritual standpoint, from even an ideological standpoint.
Absolutely. Having some things in common.
Absolutely.
I think we talked about having wives that like football.
Right. Yeah.
That makes it easy, because on Sunday the TV is going to go to football.
It is.
It will. It absolutely will.
I love that. And then we'll watch a cooking show every now and then, or maybe even a home improvement show. But having things in common, so that you can do things together. I think that a lot of times people get lost in the relationship; they lose themselves in the relationship.
Yes.
Where the relationship is the focal point of everything, and you forgot that you're an individual human being. What were you doing before y'all were together?
That's right. That's important. That's important, because if you lose yourself, then that person becomes everything. Whenever they miss the opportunity to do what you think they should do, there's a void.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's interesting, in many respects we're talking to men, because generally women are the ones that lose themselves in a relationship more often than not.
Yes.
Right.
But it affects men.
It does.
Because now it's like, you saying, come on, girl, let me just get out. Now you gotta be careful now because it's you gotta figure out. You gotta almost hear both sides of it, but sometimes it's you always with your friends. No, I'm not. It's just that you think you're supposed to be with me all the time.
I'm supposed to be with you all the time. That's right.
But then there are other times that you can be neglectful because you're not spending enough time with her. So trying to find that balance, it's always best to make sure that you don't lose yourself in the relationship. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, try to, if you can't incorporate it in a relationship, make sure you can still do that by yourself.
Right. And that's why having, back to the previous episode, that's why having things in common also helps, right? So my wife likes sports. So I don't have to choose between sports and my wife. Right? Because otherwise, it's going to be some problems because I love sports.
Or if she's okay with you loving sports, then that could be all right too. Where it's like, okay, I don't necessarily enjoy them, but if you do, go right ahead. Now, if you can get that kind of liberty, then you're good.
And you also in the 1%. Because I'm gonna tell you a secret. I don't want them to know.
All right.
But it's rare. It's rare that a woman is gonna give you that kind of space if she genuinely does not like whatever it is. She'll give it to you here and there, but the fuse is real short. So real story about how I probably shouldn't tell this. But get in trouble.
I can tell a safe one. So a safe one
ahead.
is I love to play cards.
Yeah.
I'm one of the best paid players on the planet, and you can like and comment, share, put your information in there, and we'll come to you to find out how good you are. Anyway, so my wife, she'll play cards. It ain't nothing she really running to do, but she'll just let me go and play, and I can be out all night playing cards and come back, and she don't care, because that's no big deal for her. I also don't take advantage of it where I'm out every weekend, doing that. When I need to, spend time with her or be doing something different, doing some actual work on something. So, that's maybe an example of where it's not her passion, but it is something that I enjoy, where she lets me enjoy what it is I enjoy.
We're gonna go with your story. It's safer. It's safer. So I was looking at some different articles because I'm curious of what people say and what they think identifies the person as the right one.
Okay.
So I came across one that I thought was really interesting. It says your friends and family like them too.
Oh, that's huge.
Now, my first question, Harvey Chip Rice, is that even true? Meaning, that's a sign that you have the right one if your friends and family like her too. And I'm asking it because what if your friends and family are just off and don't like anybody?
All right, so what I would say is it's still a component of it, and probably more family than friends.
Okay, yeah.
And I say that because you're going to have to be intertwined with these people. They're going to be people you're going to have to deal with on a consistent basis. It's a whole lot easier when they like you and you like them.
It's easier, for sure, for sure. No question about that, because if your family don't like your significant other, it's a hard road, boy.
Some of y'all dealing with that way. Your in-laws, it's just like,
They're dealing with it. They dealing with it.
Don't watch this together.
In fact, don't even send this one to them. But that's just an interesting thought process, because I know, I'm sure you know too, some, let's call them mama's boys, who fundamentally, we see them on all of the B-rated black movies, right? We see them, but in real life they exist too, where nobody's good enough for my son,
baby.
my baby, and no matter how good the woman is, first of all, she's not perfect, she's not part of the Trinity, she hadn't walked on water. I get all of that, but they'll find that flaw, that issue You know, and especially in our community where a lot of times there's single parent households, the son may have played a role in the house that's beyond just son.
Okay.
Right? They feel, and so now another woman comes along, or a woman comes along and starts to pull the son away, and now mama's faced with the prospect of being alone.
Right.
Which magnifies the flaws of that woman because
Right.
now I'm trying to figure out how do I adjust to this.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm losing something.
I'm losing something. Right. And so now there's men out there who are not with the woman they're supposed to be with because mama didn't like it.
She was too strong for mama.
Too strong for my. Oh, that's a whole
She had her own. She could think for herself.
thing. And she talked and let mama know that she can think for herself.
And mama ran out of there.
Yeah, because son don't tell mama. Son don't check mama. No. So now, future wife, girlfriend, whatever she is left to battle that on her own.
Right.
And she's trying to balance, how do I respect you and your mother while still not getting run over and standing my ground?
Wow. Wonder if you've missed out on what you were supposed to have because you couldn't control the other things. He said, leave mother and father. And that didn't mean like,
cleave.
it didn't mean like, just abandon them, never talk to them, anything. It's more like, this is your priority now.
Correct.
This is your priority, and so you can't let them win. Now, this hard porridge right here, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it at you.
Do it.
When you get married, there is nobody more important than your wife. Period.
That includes your mama, your
Daddy.
stepmama,
Daddy.
auntie, daddy, uncle, grandparents, whoever it is.
Take it real deep now. Not even your children.
Not even your children. Not even the ones you had before you got with her.
It's a fight. It's a fight. No, nobody. She is your number one priority. It doesn't mean that everybody else does not fall in line
Correct.
from a priority standpoint, but none of them are more important than your wife.
Your wife.
And I think it's a lot of women out here that are feeling some kind of way
Yes.
because we as men have not esteemed them as important as we should have.
That's right.
He never said he that finds a child
Finds a good.
finds a good thing. He didn't say that.
He who finds a mother.
So he prioritized. He said, honor the father and mother. And he said, children are an inheritance from the Lord.
That's right.
But the only one he said obtains favor is the wife. He that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord.
Commercial break. He who finds a wife, not she who finds a husband. So if you are a lady and you watching this, it's his job to find you.
Please don't propose.
Stop trying to find him.
My goodness. Stop it.
It's out of order.
Stop it.
First of all, if you got to find him to begin with, that's trouble.
Yeah, you missing something.
You're missing something.
See, you what we call thirsty.
Thirsty.
No, don't ever propose to a man.
Don't do it.
Ever. It sends a bad signal.
That's right.
For what's going to happen moving forward.
That's right.
Y'all need to fix that.
That's right. So another one I came across I thought was interesting is you handle conflict and turbulence well when you find the right one. That's an interesting one for me to unpack because there's also the reality that some people don't handle conflict and turbulence well regardless.
Right.
So it's a very relative term.
Right.
Maybe you handle it better than you would otherwise,
Okay.
right? But one of the things that I don't think our community does well is handle conflict.
No, we don't.
We amp immediately.
Right.
We amp on the teachers at school. What happened to the days when if you showed out at school, the assumption was that the teacher was right?
Right.
Boy, don't make me come down to that school.
Right.
But now, it's kids showing out in school, and the parent will come to school and show out on the grown folk.
What did y'all do to my child?
What did y'all do to my? Nothing. He's bad. He's failing. He's cussing. He's walking through the hallway with his pants down. What
He's
in the world? Stealing.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
But handle conflict and turbulence well. So what does that look like when you find the right one?
Conflict has got to be one of those things that we talk about at some point, because I want to let everybody know that most couples that come together, you're not going to handle conflict correctly. Right. You're not going, because you have to learn each other to know how to handle that. But it is good to talk about it up front. You know, one of the things me and my wife talked about before we got married, I was like, honey, I can't have nobody hollering at me. I said, I can't. Right. I said, that's not what I want. So, you know, let's talk that through. And so we fixed that as far as our relationship is concerned. I like to tell people, because it's such a blessing that my wife and I have been married 22 years, and we had our last shouting argument in our relationship in year 2.5, 3. They haven't had no one since, because we figured out how to communicate and talk to each other. It doesn't mean we hadn't got mad since, but understand that you got to work that out. It does not come when you first get there. You will have to figure out how to talk to each other, what level of talking. We have to teach the principle on how not to give a diamond in a doo-doo bag. The information might be right, but how you present it.
And when you present it.
Ooh, and when, yeah.
Yeah, so my wife and I, we're hitting year 15. And I'd like to tell you we haven't had a shouting match since year 2.5. But I might say we haven't had one since year 14. Now, well, I'm not talking about super intense or anything like that. Now,
but I mean, you have to know what works for you. See, if somebody's yelling in the conversation, I shut down because of what that means to me mentally and emotionally.
Yes.
You can have somebody else yelling, they're gonna yell right back and say, like, okay, come on, who gonna fix the hamburger helper?
Yeah.
You know, so it's no big deal. So you have to figure out how to communicate with each other. But there are times where what you have to say is important, but how you say it and when you say it are critical.
That's right. I've learned to handle conflict by saying, I'll call you back if we on the phone. Let me call you back. I got to call Chip real quick. Chip. So real story. This is a safe one. My wife is going to tell me that I left something out because I told this story just this past weekend. And she says I left something out, and for the life of me, I can't remember. I normally do pretty well in the story. You left something out? Right. Okay, I normally do pretty well on the story. Okay. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to go with you on the Shalise that he left something out, because if you remember whatever it is, then...
Yeah, then put it in the comments. but so I came back from Denver last week, right? So I get to the airport at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. It started snowing, early in the a.m., and so I'm stressed out. Right, I'm coming from Denver to the East Coast, so I mean that's already a long day.
Right,
I have a connection through LaGuardia, which is,
oh my
God,
goodness.
yeah. So anyway, so I get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. My flight is for 9:52 a.m. Mountain Time. So then, around 9 o'clock, my flight is 10:52 Mountain Time, and a few minutes pass, and then it's 11:26 Mountain Time, and then I look at my app to check something with my flight. I think I was checking my connection. And then it showed me on a different flight that left at 3:15. So now we're dealing with 8 to 3:15. That's 7 hours and 15 minutes in the Denver airport. And listen, Denver's a beautiful place. The airport really ain't that, okay? I mean, I just want to say it's really not that, right? Now, they're doing construction, so I'm sure they're in the process of modernizing. But for my purposes last week,
right.
It wasn't the Atlanta airport, where you can lose 7 hours in Atlanta airport.
Yeah,
right?
You can go all over the place.
Go shopping, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm talking to my wife throughout the day, keeping her abreast of it. And now, by the way, I'm not going through LaGuardia once they changed my flight. Now I'm going through Atlanta, which makes me feel a little bit better, right?
Okay.
Because if something goes wrong, at least I'm in ATL. You know what I'm saying? I got people there. I know what to do.
Right.
So, but anyway, but I did notice my flight lands at like 8:10 p.m. in Atlanta, and it's going to land in the B as in boy concourse, and my flight from Atlanta to Greensboro leaves at 8:55 out of the E concourse, right? And it's Atlanta.
You got to move.
Right, so I'm rolling, boom, boom, boom. I get there, got time to hit the restroom and walk right on the plane, right? Then we get there, we get to Greensboro. I'm at the baggage claim, but the bag is not there. I said, so it's 10:15, 10:20. whatever it was, Thursday night. I've been in the airport since 8 a.m. Mountain Time, so that's 10 Eastern. So I'm going on about 12 hours right now. I've been dealing with the airport and planes, and now my bag is not here. And I check in with the service desk, and they tell me it's on the next flight that's going to be here after midnight.
No.
So they're going to bring it to me the next day. That's fine. So I'm walking to the car. Now, again, I'm keeping my wife abreast along the way. And so as I'm walking to the car, after I said, well, it only got better, baby. My bag's not here now. She checked the house, and my wife is a Girl Scout, so not literally, but she got supplies. So where I got toothbrushes and all this other stuff that's in the bag. No big deal. So then she tells me, so I said, okay. And then she tells me, but I don't like the way you sound. After everything I just said. So now she says that there's something else I said in between that made her say that. And by all means, baby, add it to the comments. But I don't recall anything other than that. And I said, well, I don't like the way I feel. So I'll talk to you when I get home. So we got off the phone, and I took a leisurely drive from the airport to the house. I say all of that to say that comment, based on everything that had happened that day, bro.
Right. It was like, wait a minute.
I've
been at the airport, stuck in
12
Denver.
hours.
12 hours.
I'm
not
exhausted.
flighting. Finally get to Atlanta.
Didn't
Got
get a chance
run.
to eat in Atlanta.
Oh my goodness. Right. So now you got to run from it. So that means you had some, what's the little cookies thing?
The Biscoff.
Yeah, the
They
Biscoff.
good now.
Yes.
They good now. I said, run me 2 packs. But my point is just that in that moment, that one statement, she didn't yell it. She didn't, but what was said and the context in which it was said, it was about to be a misunderstanding.
About to be set off.
Yeah. But what I've learned for me is I have to pull myself out of the situation and get myself together. And sometimes that might mean calling one of my trusted people and say, man, let me tell you what this woman just told me. Because if I say it out loud, I could get it out. Because otherwise, when I get home, I might have to say it out loud.
Right.
So I prefer to say it out loud to you.
Right, and then be done with it and
That's
move
right.
on from there.
That's right. That's
Wow.
right.
Man, so much to unpack
I
in the
know.
manual. This time goes by real fast.
Real fast.
But we trying to help y'all be the best you can be and help us be the best that we can be. So make sure you tune into the podcast every Monday, 7 p.m. We're looking forward to going live real soon. Look for the manual for you on all of the social media platforms. We appreciate y'all being here for Professor Alton Woods. I'm Chip Rice, and we'll see you all next time.
Love you.